Good evening this time.
I hope everyone's having a good night. We're getting here. All right, everything sounds good.
I feel like it sounds good too.
Okay, mute that. All right. Welcome to the show. Let's get some energy up in here.
I'm bringing Michael Wilber up in our background to keep the energy up.
Whoa.
We did get the permission from him to use his one. You can find him at Michael Wilber on Instagram. It's awesome. His videos are real fun
right
too.
It is not dog shit.
The reason we chose him is because he had a video of a traffic cone. He was using the traffic cone to enhance the sound of his saxophone. I couldn't think of anything that was more rise in mind than that.
Oh yeah, I love that, man. That's so creative. So awesome. I'm getting confused with the camera being in a different spot, so I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna slide this. There, that might be a little bit better. I'll get a little lean.
Hey, I want to talk about how ancient Earth wasn't there a alien infecting our society. One or two, maybe a family of them that slowly trying to subvert and mind control all of humanity. Aliens live for like 10,000 plus years. That's how long he's been doing it for. Trying to prep Earth, get ready for the coming of his entire race. I don't know their gender. I don't know why I'm saying he. And in the process of doing so, capitalism was invented somewhere along the line by this alien because they need really high CO2 content in an atmosphere to survive. So capitalism was the perfect vehicle for them to destroy the environment, our vision, but to enhance and make it livable for them, their perception.
Oh, I'm new to this too, chat. This is some wild shit.
I'm joking. I'm not. That's not how I'm actually starting this, but it is part of like the built-in obsolescence thing that's what I actually want to talk about today. Like what? I don't know how people would actually decide to do that unless they were being mind controlled by an alien. That's why I started that way, because it's like you take something that you put your heart and soul into to make the world a better place to live in, and then you go and make it worse just to make a little extra money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, business has got to keep climbing with the soaring timing, right? It's pretty wild. Like the structure became so mathematical.
Yeah,
now it's run rampant.
What we're going to talk about once we get into the breaking ground, but we're still in the intro. So, like, how are you doing, CP? I just had to get that alien thing out of my head. I had to get it out.
The alien, yeah, that really threw me. I'm doing okay. I guess that's.
I was trying to throw you. Sorry.
The reptilian agenda is real. Spooky.
I think it's just more subtle than we think it is.
No, I'm doing pretty good. Busy. Got a project going on in behind me. It's taking way longer than I want, but torn up, but it's happening.
Did you get royally screwed by the daylight savings time this time like I did?
A little bit. Like it threw my sleeping off a bit to where I stayed up, like pulled an all-nighter. Then it threw me off, and then I was like not getting as much sleep for a couple days after that, and then I got myself completely exhausted. So yeah, it threw me off at the beginning of the week when it first happened. What happened to you? Did you grow a fucking reptile?
I still haven't recovered.
Really? Wow.
It's been like it's probably because of my shift. I stayed up really late the night that the time change happened. That doesn't help. I had to be up really early the morning after the time change happened.
That was the night I pulled an all-nighter.
Oh my
Like,
God.
the time, so I was fucked, you know?
Oh, dude.
Because the time changed and then it like jumped, you know? And it was like, oh man, now I stayed up late and now it's this time. And I had shit to do, I think, the next day and threw it all off. But I'm here today. I feel a little like kind of low energy, but I was busy all day. I went and like had to talk to a lot of people, so it's all good, and I'm excited to. I'm getting the Dreamers Arcade put together. Whoa, can you hear how ecstatic I am? Wind myself up. I gotta get hyped up. Ram After Dark is old man Ram fucking park in his ass sleeping.
That's how I feel. You feel more high energy in the morning?
My prime time is 10 a.m., dude, when we do the podcast.
I like that. I normally would want to do it around that time, but we've been busy.
Yeah, so this morning I had to be part of a meeting. We're putting on this witch ball for our dancing group. It's one that it's like tickets, like the public can come in.
Oh.
And it's going to be nice. So we're like figuring out how to set up this really nice room that we've booked, and it's all nice hardwood, setting up like kind of topiary like spring and vine type things. So we met to see like who has what for material, who can do what the ideas are. So had this kind of smash session and came up with some ideas, and then I went up, oh yeah, smash or pass the idea. But no, that's going to be around Halloween, so we're just starting up a lot of it. And then that got done around noon. I went over to a friend's house I hadn't seen in a while. They just had a third child, man. They little baby boy, and their kids are really awesome, nice, and dude, their kid was so hilarious. They literally said. The mom said something about Google, and then she's like, Google, like a goblin. And she said something like, they're only up there shaking their butts and vaginas. And I go, whoa. I was like, she understands the internet.
You got some talent if you can shake your vagina.
That was, I had me almost on the floor. And I'm like, man, that is probably true. That's what's happening on the internet. That sounds a lot like TikTok.
That is... I don't know. I've curated my TikTok to become something totally different.
Yeah, I don't even have one anymore. Oh yeah, Mr. Saint over here, right? My Instagram's ruined.
Well, here's the thing, CP. Like I actually went on a journey to try and speaking of this, kind of answers the question of what's really been going on since daylight savings. Is I've been trying desperately to find how to delete my Facebook but keep my business page active on there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's all intertwined, and like you have to have a personal account to manage the business account. And now I can deactivate my, like, I want their numbers to go down. I want them to feel like they are losing grip of their base. You know, I want them to feel like they're really not okay. But if I want if I want them to feel that, I need the account deleted. I need the number to be 0. The amount of data that I have on them on there to be 0. And I know that's never going to happen. They've already mined my data and they already used it. I can't do anything about that. You know, there's no way.
No.
I just want
we gave it up.
And I still have the accounts and I'm still using them because I'm like, I need my business account. I need ways for people to connect with me. But then this journey also did something really, really interesting. It sounds sad. It did initially make me sad. I've said that since I've gotten Facebook. I've said that since I've gotten an Instagram. I've not gotten a single commission or business opportunity from Facebook or Instagram. Not a one in 15 years of being on it and working my ass off to keep those up. So it's like,
wow.
Maybe I just need to fucking delete the business account too, because it's all just ads and AI now. There's no business for me on there.
Like, yeah, I feel that way. Like, I feel like I had a website for a while, for ages, and it just, yeah, I don't think it ever got me any sales. I don't know if I used it as a way to, email me, but that would just go to my regular email anyway. I think maybe I've used email, but if I emailed, if I was emailed about a commission, it was generally because they saw me at a convention or like a market or something.
Yeah.
So I've corresponded that way. But you know what's crazy? Here we are on Twitch. Twitch has probably been one of the more lucrative areas.
Yeah, I just got a commission, actually.
Yeah, because people like hang out with you, and like I've had viewers when I was Dreamers Arcade, just in conversation, come up with ideas, and I have one right now through someone that I met on Twitch, and yeah, I feel like people I meet on Twitch, quite a few. And I've made friends too, like dude. Shout out Twitch, man. Here we are streaming on Twitch. Yeah. This is where shit happens, dude. We think about it. Think of our Rambros, man. We've actually hung out with them, but
Joe was Twitch met in person, but Storm, yeah. I met. It's funny, Storm of Iron, I met in person. Game of Twitch, more Twitch than in person.
Yeah.
True though, it's like you make friends while you're.
I've got nothing from Facebook.
Nothing.
Like, tell me anything that you ever got from Facebook.
Tell me why.
What did Facebook fucking do for you?
What did Facebook do for me? So,
like a bird.
It doesn't sound so cynical, but all it found was more ways for me to become ways for me to consume mindless.
And I don't even know what Facebook was when it first came out anymore.
When it first came out, it was originally just for college campuses, so that everyone get together and get to know each other. Without, no one knows anyone. So that was the original. Then it went to communities, like opened it up to communities. There, it started to take off. People are like, "Oh, I want this. This is great. We can stay in touch." And it was less juvenile than my. Oh, I want this. It feels more professional. And it was garbage to begin with. Because you would just have they had a poke button and people would just poke you and be like, so and so poked you, and I'd be like, huh?
So stupid.
And so dumb. This was back in the time when I refused to get a cell phone because I saw what it was doing to people. Here I am, one of those people now. I'm like, God damn it, I've been sucked in.
Game over. Game over.
Lost. I did need it though for school, for life. It helped in general.
So I liked MySpace. I learned valuable skills like early HTML. I made a really cool exhibition of work, and had music when you would load up on the page. It felt like an experience, like you'd go over to someone's apartment. And then Facebook just became this utilitarian board, and I never liked it as much because it wasn't as expressive. Like, it was just chatty, and that was fine because I used it to keep in contact with certain people that moved away. But and some social planning and stuff, but it's unfortunate. I got off Facebook years ago, and I'd go on and see what it was like, and just like you said, the amount of ads, it's such an annoying experience now, and that's from a guy who didn't really like it from the beginning because I thought it was so vanilla.
Very, very
I learned
silly.
nothing from it. At least MySpace, I learned how to code a little bit for crazy. Yeah.
That's where I'm at with
itching my arm.
That's what I've been
itching. Well, that felt great.
That's what I've been doing most of that. And it's been really exhausting. state of the world now. That's another big thing that's been going constantly hammering me. And I've you know how like people say I can't even sleep at night. That'd be an
Yeah.
exaggeration. Hard to get to sleep. Hard to enjoy my work. It's hard to
Mm.
have hope for the future. And it's exhausting holding on so tightly to hope. Still hope, but I have to like protecting it, and all my energy is going into that. And so by the time the day's done, I'm like so spent. And daylight savings time
Uh,
hit, and it was like it
yeah.
hit me like a truck because I was so on edge.
Well, remember, there's only so much you can manage, and
Oh, like
it's there's a lot to be, like you said, wound up and stressed about, but it's only don't try not to abuse yourself too much. Limit some of the consumption of media, and get some of your feelings out fast.
yeah.
You know, if something pisses you off, just rant about it real quick, and
And I did
try to address it and not just let it stew in your head.
buy a splitting mall,
Yeah, there you go.
so I'll just go out there and chop some wood. Guys used to do.
Yeah, I've been out there doing some of my yard cleanup already, and it makes me feel a lot better. The oh man, just it's weird how the world operates, and it is uncertain and kind of always. I guess it's always in flux. No matter who you are, someone's going to be worried that. And in this case, like, we're in a position where things are suspicious, and you and I imagine there's a lot to write with there.
Oh yeah.
So
Not picking me up. Just need to be
I'm
closer
not
to my
gonna pick you up
face.
because I'm miles away. Miles away in Maine.
You're also married.
Who cares?
You're not gonna pick me up.
I'm gonna pick you up on a date, take you out for something great,
Pick up
some
lines.
shrimp scampi, or maybe some steak. I don't know.
Dude, was that just off the top of your head? Because like Campy's actually my favorite.
Yeah, it was off the top of my head. But I'm tuned in to some kind of wavelength. You ever see Riley Martin?
Riley
The
Martin.
dude who had all the alien theories. It's, the old black dude with like a bandana, kind of like Jimi Hendrix. He'd be like, yes. He talked about impregnating like alien species. It was hilarious.
He wanted to impregnate them.
Well, it was like, I think it was kind of like some of the Muslim, not Muslim, she's Mormon stuff. You might be interested in this. He talks about Elohim and some of the astral there, and he'd be like, his voice was so great. He'd be like, they wanted me to. It was like Morgan Freeman kind of, but like kind of stone, to impregnate their women.
Impregnate their women.
Like, many times the alien species visited me in my domicile. He'd like enunciate. Yeah. Check that guy out sometime, dude. I was just showing him to some the other day. The aliens cometh. Mm-hmm.
Might take us right into the breaking ground, actually, if you're
break it. Someone's gonna break the ground.
Break.
I threw it on the ground. I'm not part of your system.
That was a good.
This podcast's a joke.
That's. Oh my god, you're huge.
The world.
Why did it make your window so big? Paste reference thing. Right. So we're in breaking ground.
Yeah. Is it broken?
Know about
Broke is broke, Paul.
Yeah, the ground has been
Hmm?
broke. You know about how the built-in started.
Started when we created this podcast.
Podcast obsolete.
Yeah, it's planned. No, planned obsolescence. So defining planned obsolescence is this idea that things are designed to break. And like my heart, when you leave me, like, so this is a phone, right?
Yeah.
It's got parts and stuff. Usually by the time you pay it off, you end up getting a new one because something's happened. You either you've got a crack in the screen or you've dropped it and the speaker doesn't work. So there's this idea that these things easily break. Like these screens could be stronger and they're at a point where they're not as strong, so you have to buy different cases. So there's already a plan in the design for you to buy something else to create a sense of safety, and that includes cases, the film that goes over the top, and then like things like insurance, like in case you drop it. So you already have that stuff in there. The other side of it's the perceived side where, see, this has got the 3 cameras, and the older model with the 2 is good. So to be less than, even though it's a operational object, there's something about it that makes you feel like it could be better. And also just the look of it, just because maybe you feel if you don't have the newest one that's out this year, you're falling behind, kind of like in fashion. I'm really successfully with women's shoes for a lot of reasons, but that's a different thing. So back in the day, they made stuff pretty sturdy, tech, cars, tools. And now we're finding things like this. We don't formulate we don't ever create a relationship, and things are so throwaway.
That is correct. But I want to tell you a story. You and our viewers.
I got a story to tell.
I got a story that blown my mind ever since I heard it. And that's interesting. No, we're gonna leave that. That's cool. Leaving it. So the Phobos. That's how it's pronounced. The Phobos cartel. Talking about the Phobos cartel today. So it's an international cartel that controlled the manufacture and sale of incandescent much of Europe and North America between 1925 and 1930. Cartel took over market territories and loaded useful life of such, commonly cited as an example of planned obsolescence. Major examples, actually. Purpose of the cartel. So these are multiple organizations and companies that were competing against each other, that decided to come together, and the cartel lowered operational costs and worked to standardize the life expectancy of light bulbs at 1,000 hours, down from 2,500 hours, while raising prices without fear of competition. Reduction in lifespan has been cited as an regulators in the UK and some independent engineers have noted bulb lifespans. Bulbs can be brighter for the same wattage. This is actually not 100% accurate. There is a bulb in a fire station has been on since 1920.
Wow.
And
100-year light bulb.
It's
100 year. Oh, my nose. I think I got a booger or something. I don't know.
Way more than 2,500 hours. I think that the reports of this may be a little bit skewed to try to make it seem like we should.
I mean,
like
regardless of that history, if you take like previous like history, when I was growing up, man, like a light bulb, you'd buy a 4-pack. 1 out of 4 of them generally didn't even make it out of the fucking package. You know, that shit, they were so touchy with those little filaments, and you shake them and that little sound. But then they started making them all these LED bulbs, and I have fixtures that have them built in. They last for years. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's funny, it went back the other way, because you'd think you'd want to sell all kinds of light bulbs, but then there's the environmental aspects to it too.
They've also learned that, like, if something, the markets now match a bit better than in the 1920s. So if you have something that lasts a long time, and you're gonna sell less of them because of that, it warrants the price being raised. People got used to that over time. If you try to do that in the 1920s, people would be like, no, this is a light bulb. Light bulbs are this much money. I don't care what kind of light bulb or how long it lasts. It's only supposed to be $7. But no,
you had to win it. You had to win them over back then, because people would be like, 8 cents for a pack of light bulbs. Well, fuck that. I'll go back to candles before I pay that kind of money. What do you think about that, Susan? I don't know what that time dialect accent was, but that's my 1926 guy pissed off about light bulbs going to candles voice.
Some other examples that are pretty huge, like the light bulb one is the biggest one. Some say that's when it started. The business thing that they brought forth was the very beginning of the concept of purposefully limiting the lifespan of a product, force you to buy more so the company can make more. One notable one is actually the instant pot. You can make rice, you could make soup, you could do so many things with it. Those things don't die usually. Like, it's very rare for an instant pot to die. Guess what happened?
Dude, I want that album. Instant pots don't die.
It's their 2025
Instant pots don't die. Dude, when you listen to that song, Instant pots don't die.
They're gonna go all the way to the Grammys with that one.
Don't die.
That's a good
dude.
One. So
and that's just how hard Instant pots are, dude.
They went bankrupt, CP.
Like, Instant pots on the graves of all your fucking blenders. Toasters all ripped apart. Man, you don't remember. I'm here forever. Instant pots will die. like shit like that, dude. Be awesome. The Thuggets. Yeah, they went under.
Oh, they went under. You know why?
Because you can't sell something that doesn't anymore, stuff that doesn't break, and they'll get it from grandma. That thing will get passed down.
Yeah.
You'll have a 1930s Instant Pot. It won't matter. They all look the same. They're all standard. Probably no bells and whistles. Same color.
I'm gonna come off as a radical leftist here when I say this, but I think that
if in your own ass. No.
If you have,
that was a joke, guys.
If you have a system in which a company that makes a good product goes bankrupt because the product is good, that system is very broken.
Yeah.
I want more good products in my life. I want more quality items that I can. I don't think that company should have gone bankrupt. I wish that the system was built in a different way. I'm not an economist, so I don't know how that would look. But I really think that we should build a system where a good product would not result in the company going bankrupt. And like, there's so many other examples too, like fashion, short-lived fashion trends and designs that become outdated. The entire fashion industry is based on this. You got to get your fall outfit out. Now you got to do now you're going to throw away your entire summer outfit because now it's fall. Electronics.
I mentioned shoes earlier. That's so bad because the shoes are something that actually wear out. You know, they take a significant amount of damage. But if you're a professional working woman, especially like go back to the 1980s where women were starting to get in like business jobs, cutting their hair short, getting like shoulder pads, being very executive like. Well, man, the shoes are a flex, dude. And other women like shoes too, so it's a big flex. Like this businesswoman, these nice shoes, they'd switch the styles up every 6 months. So now, like, go forward 6 months, you got to get rid of those shoes because now it's not a flex. Like anyone could have them, or they're shit. They're old. They're basically perceived obsolescence. So then they're going to throw the new shoes on because then its status of being the most successful because of having the current design. And like you mentioned electronics, you were same idea. Wanting the best of the best Blu-ray, the best 4K, like that kind of shit. Like how it's just still a movie.
Well, there's also another version of that. The phone that you have, the iPhone, they went to court because what they were doing, if you had an iPhone 5 less or older, they were essentially, if you downloaded the update, it would systematically make the phone slower, make the apps run worse, and then basically get you in the mind that your phone was terrible. And then you would go and buy a new one. And this was found out. Someone proved it. They took them to court. And the Supreme Court ruled in their favor. They said, it's fine for you to treat your customers like dog shit. They said, it's fine. Go ahead. Keep doing it. We want this in our world, is what they said.
We're just trying to hustle that dollar. Hustle that dollar, man.
Oh, like that's a case where I took that personally, because when it comes to software, I don't want my phone to change and in favor of the company that sold it.
But you mentioned the software. Dude, I just realized last night I was on Xbox and I've been buying up a bunch of like arcade games because I want to move that Xbox, in here with some new arcade sticks and getting all these like beat 'em ups and stuff. But I know the future of consoles is pretty much gonna go away, which is interesting because that was a way to make money, always keep the consoles changing. But now it's like they don't even have as much hardware, so even the software, it's all digital. So that got me thinking. I was buying a bunch of digital stuff. What if someday things do change quite a bit and I have these specific peripherals, these arcade sticks, this Xbox, but then something changes or I'm not online anymore, and now I realize you need to be online to play all those games. The hard drive, like I need to even open them, it needs to go through that verification. And I was like, well, fuck. I'm buying a whole bunch of stuff, spending quite a bit of money, and someday I might not even be able to be part of the stuff, but then all the physical Nintendo games, right?
Yep.
I'll always have those. Well, unless they like chip rot or something, but for the most part, like, yeah, that concerns me too. Like, and then what does it do? Like the same idea. Bring that to court, and it's like, oh, they have the right to do that. They still do a thing. You got it. You were under their license. But now it's fucking over, dude. So it's sad. It's sneaky.
It really is.
I'm always suspicious and be like, it's a good deal. And
really,
a lot of times I feel like I'm getting burned from the back end.
Really interesting version of it actually just came out with the video cards from NVIDIA. The 50 series. So if you buy a 4090, it's going to run you probably about $900. You buy a 3090, it's probably going to run you probably around. If you buy a 1070, it's going to keep going down and down, right? There are computers out there that are running a 1070, playing the latest video games. They purposefully have made you think that you want a 5090 and you can run a 1080. And if you get a 1080 Ti, you're good. Like most games are fine. I got suckered into it too. I'm like, how come my stream is running worse than when I was running my 1080? Like I was like, what is going on here?
That's absolutely crazy.
And I bought a 3060, and it should have been so much better than the 1080. Like number wise, you think, 3060, it should be 20 times better because it's 20 more added to the decimal. But no, it's actually not better. So that's deceptive marketing. That's not necessarily built-in obsolescence. That was just very deceptive marketing. There's another thing, like I want to also get into talking about how we can thwart this, how we like ways to combat it. But I do want to talk a bit more about cars. Cars are one of the biggest contributors to this concept. Automobiles, vehicles, back in the 50s when the car craze was starting to go, it was starting to go nuts. Like our culture became like almost all about a car and having a car. They were encountering the same problem that Instant Pot is having. Many automakers went out of business because they made a really, really good car and no one had to buy another one.
Yeah, building that stuff all for the first time, trying to get it right, putting real heavy metals and stuff in there. You could bounce them off some stuff. The early cars were death traps,
Right.
and levers and tiny little things. But I think of those 70s muscle cars, and those things were, indestructible, but they were heavy. And you think of the rising price of gas. That's kind of crazy how you can like put a spin on it. Our cars now are super light. Even my mini SUV, it's like the exterior is plastic. I've gotten into an accident. The thing was like a toy, but it still has the hard frame. But all the other stuff is just like, it's like should be made, but have Nickelodeon on it. Nerf gun, it's it's ridiculous. But then
yeah.
the price of gas, if I'm riding like a Chevy Nova frame, think about that, like the price of gas, you're not getting a lot of gas per gallon. So it's interesting. You have these cars that are, I don't know, maybe they are safer. Maybe they have more features, all the airbags. It's a hard tell, but they have convinced me like, oh, cars should be lighter because the price of gas. But see how the marketing, like you're saying, it's tricky how it can, or it's better for the environment. There's all these good selling points, but ultimately someone's making a bunch of money.
My uncle said something awesome the other day that made me realize about how most of it is marketing. That you're not like nowadays. You used to buy the whole car. That used to be the selling point, right? The whole car. Now there's a ton of bells and whistles, but really the only thing that they're putting a lot of effort into is the engine. These days you're not buying a car, you're buying an engine. You want to make sure you get the best engine that is being made out there, because that's what's going to last if it's made well. That's what's going to cost the most if it breaks. So when you're buying a car, you have to look at the engine. Whereas in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you could probably like choose based on a lot of different factors, but most cars are using the same metals, the same brakes, the same, like all the parts come from like, gotta watch out for is and when it comes to built-in obsolescence, that factors in a lot. Like you might think you're saving money buying a cheap car, you are not saving money because you're gonna blow a gasket, and there's it's gonna cost you so much more later down the road.
Yeah, it's like when we were all younger and we had to buy like a used car that was like not like a used car that was like mid-mile or anything. It was like end of life cars that you could only afford when you were that young. And I spend so much money and energy into fixing them, and that's not a good deal, like you're saying on there.
When you have to fix it.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's the problem with some of the features. We're getting these cars that are comfortable, like just going through. Okay, I got like I got the connect my phone kind of deal all through the satellite radio, heated seats, things. But at any time, one of those things can shit.
Right.
The more luxury you have,
that became standard. It became like if you're buying a car, it needs to have those. Every car has them now. You can't get a car under 10K anymore because of that part of it. It's so hard to find something cheap. There's companies out there making them, but guess what? The US won't even import them. Because the automakers that are lobbying our government know that if you sell a car that is only like $6,000, people won't need to spend like crazy amounts of money on a car. They're gonna probably buy the cheaper car, especially if it's well made. Because you don't know how much an engine is. about 5K. If you didn't have all the bells and whistles, how much more money do you think the car would actually be worth if you only had like roll up windows and like just a radio, or maybe not even a radio at all? That'd be cool
Give me a
to.
tape deck.
That'd be cool to have the option.
Yeah.
Be really cool to have the option to just not have any of that. If I wanted a work truck, I would love to drop 6K on a work truck. Have it have no bells and whistles, just engine and a frame and a trailer hitch, and we're good. Here we go.
Is there a way to market that? Speaking of marketing, we're talking about that. It's like, what if you had bare bones, Matt?
There is.
And
Bare bones,
and there's
Matt.
like you had like car manufacturers manufacture cars at the lowest level, crank windows, no radio, nothing. Not even, this model doesn't even have an air conditioner put into it, like shit. And then like you sell them for like $4,000, and then people could have just these cars that were just things that got them to work. And everyone could have a car.
Here at Craft On Industries, we give you absolutely nothing for your money.
Yeah.
That's the plan, man. Save.
They should have a basic truck and car that looks the same. It's all, and like you can just buy one or lease one. Netflix that fucking thing. They should have it like Netflix. $20 a month, you can get this basic standard car. BSC.
Well, yeah, at least you could lease it.
Basic. You could get a basic. BSC basic.
BAYSIC.
Hey. Get yourself a basic.
Yeah, get yourself a basic.
Now everyone's just gonna get an e-bike anyway and a fucking skateboard.
Well, imagine an electric car that is like that, where there's no extra weight added either. It's just you plug it in, you charge it, and you can go to work, and you don't need
That's scary.
Why?
You're gonna die because it'd be small. Like it would be like a little bike, and you'd be out on the road and not making noise. And I wouldn't want to drive that around. An e-bike, you can go on the sidewalks and shit, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, you can. You're right about the e-bike. What you're talking about is a perception that's based on how every other vehicle is gigantic, and you'll get squashed.
Well, yeah, dude, I can't bring a little fucking model car that's like plastic out on the street, and there's like these giant like plow trucks and stuff. Could you imagine me going to the Cumberland Farms at like midnight with some slushy snow down with this little thing that's like a child? It's like a child's Bigfoot, and here's me, and then this plow trucks comes by and just obliterates me into nothingness. Like that's what scares me. Just like
obliterated, just immediately gone. CP ceases to exist.
But an e-bike, dude, you can like zip around, get out of the way, get on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Thing, like, or they're gonna have their own lane for it. But up here in Maine, in these rural areas, I wouldn't. In a city, right? I could. Yeah. But like, can you imagine going to the back roads of up in the White Mountains of New Hampshire when it's like snowing? And you got this little cone-shaped thing. Flushing, fishtailing. Like,
see, now you're
scared.
getting into the nitty-gritty of this subject matter. Actually, I love how so we have this other part of built-in obsolescence where we also have perceived value that's making vehicles bigger. Vehicles have been getting bigger and bigger because of the perception of what's valuable and what works and what doesn't. Safety in a vehicle has to do with the material density and crumple zones. The size of the vehicle doesn't matter at all. Sorry, I said that too quickly. It doesn't matter at all. We have trucks that are the most unsafe things ever allowed to be on the road. And then we have some of the most safe, tiny little sedans that nobody dies in. Like, whenever you hear about a car accident, it's never a Toyota Camry. It's one of the safest cars in America. It's amazing.
But see, they got me, dude. They already got me. Listen to this. I will never have a sedan again in my life.
Yeah,
like I will have a hatchback, either a mini SUV or a truck or a small truck, because the standard height that I need to be, well, getting older and getting in and out of the fucking things and just having room to store stuff is another thing, transport stuff. But the eye level of someone, like when you're in one of those low cars, someone goes a bigger SUV or something, it's scary because it's like
Yeah.
I'm eye level with your headlights, dude. Like, you could just plow through me, and if I hit you, I'm under you.
Right.
And there you are, leapfrogging my ass. It's still dangerous, but it's like just seeing that scares me, man.
This is all very true. I think we have an idea of what it is now, of what built it up. Let's get into the idea of like what we can do to
Go antiquing.
like antiquing, thrifting. Oh god, thrifting is one of the best ways. Right to repair is mentioned here. Litigation that allows consumers to repair their own products. Right to repair is very important. Sustainable design is also very good, encouraging manufacturers to design lifespans. But then we run into the Ouroboros of capitalism that's always eating its own tail. You can't have that because you'll go bankrupt. If you create a product that has a long lifespan, you'll just go bankrupt because you need something that can be consumed.
Right to repair is the big one for me, because it's like they make all this stuff and a lot of people don't make a lot of enough money to be buying like maintenance tools and leaf blowers every few years.
Yeah.
So like they have to have it to a point where it can be fixed and fixed from older parts. Don't change up, the standard. The standards were set for a reason, and they keep changing them and making things less and less standard. I was pissed off when I got into a car accident because my GMC, Chevy that should be interchangeable with all kinds of Dodge parts and all this stuff only has one headlight assembly specifically for that model, and those fuckers are $2,700, dude. Oh, $2,700. I'm sorry. It was insane.
You seen that vehicle that is typical for like Russia? Like you see it and you immediately think, oh, that's one of those cars that is in Russia.
Not. I guess
so it's usually a boxy white sedan without fancy rims. It's got those hubcaps that are there's not even caps on them.
I know what you're talking about now. Yep.
So back in the back just before the fall of the Soviet Union, they did exactly what you're talking about. They standardized industry. They forced it, and what you ended up having is these shit boxes that will not die. They last forever. Like they're really good. That's why you see so many of them to this day.
See, when you don't stand to make a profit, when it's just about, not that I'm promoting communism or any form of government, but like when you do standardize a thing and it's like, hey, everybody has a basic right to the.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to have them so they break down. You manufactured them. You want to not have to screw with that and spend more people's money or your own or whatever.
Off the top of your head, can you think of a way? Can you like say capitalism is sake of argument, and we do want these companies to continue to make a profit? How can we standardize to make a vehicle that does last a long time, where these companies can still turn a profit and it doesn't break that system as well? Wonder if there's a way to do it. And I think it would be more about distribution. If you could sell it to the entire world, you wouldn't like. There's so many people, right? So that's like endless profits. If you could sell to every human on the planet, like that would be like there's so many humans to sell to. So
yeah, humans are gonna keep multiplying. So like you're always gonna get new customers, and a car, no matter what you do, lasts forever.
Right.
And people's lives are going to change, and they're going to not want the sports car, and they're going to their life changes and have to get things. But I think the companies will always have people who want to buy their products. I think a different structure of price, of making some things, making cars like a real basic, like price wise. So yeah, if you're only going to last. If you find that it's environmentally better, build better for a car to last 8 to 10 years, whatever. But if that car is significantly cheaper, with less bells and whistles and stuff, more of a standard thing, then you make the money, you still get that turnover. But like, there should also be, if you're paying more for a car, the build shouldn't just be in the seats and the lights or cosmetic things for that matter. It should be in something that's going to help it last longer, or better systems of warranty,
I just thought of something.
allowing warranties to go a little bit longer or something like that. But if you pay for it, that's the thing. That's why wealthy people can really kick ass, because like they can pay for all the coverage and they don't even need it to begin with.
We got to go back to the share screen real quick because I just thought of something. There's a laptop company that's doing, I think cars should do what this laptop company is doing. The problem with the laptop is it's hard to upgrade. It's hard to like add modules, add parts, make it better. There's a company called Framework that's looking to change that.
Why am I huge, dude?
Oh, because I
was like the whole screen.
You are the whole screen. Framework introducing laptop 16. So this is Framework. So this is really cool. We're gonna reject those cookies because
yeah, I've seen this different
different keyboard.
That's the shit I'm talking. I like that.
You can change out all of this stuff is interchangeable, and you can get some of the best tech too, because like if you have a processor that you can swap out with different parts, and like say you want different, it uses USB-C to give you different USB slot.
It already pisses me off. It's such a good idea, and you guarantee they're gonna put this thing out, and they'll be interchangeable, and they'll have the original parts that all snap into it, and maybe a couple like custom ones that have different colors. But then they'll abandon the fucking project, and they won't make upgrades for it.
They're already doing well. They're releasing a desktop. Now you can buy a desktop from them.
See how distressful I was there? I was already like, I'm so wary. I've been so fucked over by these companies for so many years.
Desktop is definitely kind of our style. Very retro.
Well, that's cool.
Well, I would love it if a car company does buy the base model car for, say, comes with nothing. But then as I save up money and live my life, I can buy modules. I install the awesome center console. I install the GPS. I install these things as I go, instead of dropping a huge amount of money going into debt. I got to avoid going to debt. The company can sell modules as its like big selling thing, and it doesn't go bankrupt. And I get a car that I can customize to my needs.
I like that too, because if you kept cars like to this weird standard for a while, so it was just about the modules, or maybe even pieces that click on the outside that change the curves of it.
Yeah.
So if you could do a module based vehicle, and they always just kind of manufactured a frame that was compatible forever, the same fucking frame.
How compact it is.
Dude, that'd be so cool. Oh, that's awesome. It'd be so cool because, like you said, you could click in like different, put a tape deck into it. You could buy so many modules to change the interior and exterior, fridge module. They could sell so many things.
That's awesome, because
team with so many companies.
Get laptop sized components in a desktop platform. Really cool. You can have a nice monitor.
Oh yeah, wow.
Love the slide different colored panels for the front. That's really cool.
So tiny.
Dude, they're so good.
Cute.
Adorbs. Totes adorbs, you guys.
Hey, I gotta go pee. I gotta go pee.
Okay.
Can we take a break in a minute? Just a quick break. Let's get to a logical point.
A logical point. Let's see.
I'm searching for a logical point to take a piss in. Oh man, gonna leave you missing this mission.
Just go take
every
a piss.
time we agree, fucking's flipping when I'm kissing. Let's blow this joint.
Deep dive.
I'm gonna do when I edit this, I'm gonna do a quick cut. Let's blow this joint. A deep dive.
It's my backwards ass berserker.
I love that thing. Oh my god, what is wrong with the deep dive page?
Blast!
Dear God.
Blast this place.
So
tactical ballistics weapon.
This is never recovered from our interview. I should have fixed this earlier.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Look at that goon.
You hear my dogs?
Deep. You have 2 dogs?
We're in the deep dive. Not my dogs. Sorry, my mom's. You got another dog.
Oh, cute. What kind of dog?
We don't know.
All right, cool dog.
Definitely a mutt.
Fucking stranger.
Stranger dog.
Hey, stranger, what are you buying? What are you selling?
Resident Evil. Shout out Resident Evil.
Sell it at a high price. Nobody sound like?
My
What are you
God.
buying? Stranger. He was a little bit more lively. Stranger. Come over here. Buy some shit off me. He's becoming like the guy who works at the transfer station. Yeah.
Every
Come over here and buy some shit off me, would you, bud?
every transfer station has that exact guy.
Especially in Maine.
Yeah.
Saw your father up here the other day.
If I'm a bud.
Maine cookie. That's the Maine Cookie Monster right there.
The main cookie monster. Okay.
Deep down below in the deep dive. Blast this shit away. All right.
So now we're in the deep
What are we-
dive. What we're going to talk about is trying to think of the best way to put this. Keeping people away, like not owning your products, right? Like this has been something that has become very controversial with especially software. Basically, like you buy a game and it's on your hard drive, but you never bought a physical copy. These companies are trying to get litigation to make it so that that is not even yours. Like you bought it, you paid for it, but just because it's digital, you don't actually own it, and they can take it from you anytime they want. There's games out there that you can't even buy anymore that have no support. The only way they exist is through an emulator or someone. Just in layman's terms, like you have to download it and save it on your hard drive and get a program that can run it. The only way you're ever going to play it again. And that's shitty.
Damn shame.
Yeah,
damn shame.
And it's happening a lot now. There's games out there that people put. You hear about that game, The Crew?
Nope.
The Crew shut off its servers, and then no one could play it.
That's rough.
That game involved quite a heavy grind to it. People lost their 1,000-hour files. Up in smoke.
Nothing is forever. Don't ever meet your hero. Don't ever think you own the world.
CP, how many quarters does it cost to play your game?
What game?
Which one? Look at our backdrop. How much does yours cost?
Mine's been 25 since 1985.
Mine doesn't work.
Yep. Well,
it's just the repeating face.
It doesn't even have a title on the marquee. It's like Mafork.
It's MRC, but the R's backwards.
Mafork. Oh, I see. I see what you've done there.
That's my artist signature.
Whoever drew that is a mess.
Both of us worked on it, so yeah, we're both equally messed up.
Look at this guy. That's what he says. He just color graded my shit. Inker stinker.
It was just the color grader.
That's all right.
I did some formatting to make it work. Mostly you.
Yeah, we got to do some level 3 arts.
Yeah, we need to do another one just like this, but make it like so. There's one for the cat cam too, and the deep dive can be like a sign on the wall.
Nice.
A neon sign. That'll be cool. So,
nice. I like that. But yeah, put Inky in the dig or something. Cute. That's cute.
We're entering a phase where built-in obsolescence is reaching its like a new low for it. We don't even own our products anymore. Not even ours. Let alone it no longer working and us not being able to repair it and having to buy a new one. Now we don't even own it when we buy it.
It's wild. Yeah, I mean, like, so many things are just out there in the air, like subscription fees and stuff. You used to get a subscription. You get a magazine that come to your house. Now you just get like a bunch of files that you can put on your screen that you don't even want to watch. No.
Yeah, you used to get an actual object. Like that's where I'm starting to draw the line. Like I'm trying to spend as little money as possible on things that don't actually tangibly exist. I'd like it to tangibly exist in my, like, something I can hold in my hands. I'm going to spend any money on it. But
yeah,
like video games made it so hard to do that. I don't have room to store all the games I have. Like I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, that's why there's a wall ripped down behind me. It's literally in part going to be a storage wall for a big game collection. Just because, yeah, where do you put all that stuff?
Yeah.
I have tapes, VHS, like physical records. I like physical. Hey, if all of the good thing is, my advice, get a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of physical media and
get your microphone closer to your mouth. I need to do it too. Mine was doing it too earlier today. Like, hello everybody. Welcome to the ASMR Viking channel.
Oh, don't get like that.
Today we're going to talk about getting screwed over by the corporations. Sorry, go ahead. So you're gonna have a wall behind.
Vibe for me. You should just run that character. Like, yeah, this is me.
Well,
and then I'll be a different version. You be a different version of you. Okay. I'll be a metaverse CP.
So you're gonna put a wall behind you of all your games and TV and movies. I hear that's gonna be really. Are you gonna light it up? Are you gonna put lights in it? I like it when things are lit up.
It's that. It's no, I was rewinding there.
Roll the tape back, Johnny.
Roll that back. I didn't even have a character. That's how tired I am today. You know how balls deep I would be in that character right now? Now I'm just like, yeah.
I think you should be the transfer station guy.
Save me. Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the wall apart back in there, and then get this guy. You don't know what he's doing. Yeah, transfer guy man's gonna retire.
So like that thing you just did with your throat though, while you were talking as him, where he has to stop and swallow mid sentence. Does he actually do that?
It's just weird. When you do an impersonation, it's not always about the tone. You have to consider the framing of a voice, and he's probably like 60 years old. He's a big guy. He's got a beard, and just he's got a kind of a slow, and then he's a little raspy. But I don't know if he was a smoker or anything. It's not like where it gets in here. That's how you really get smokers. Get that flirty voice going on. You get it in the esophagus, but he's just chesty. I eat a lot of food. I got a lot of air into my, it's like he's
got a zesty.
He's pulling the air, and you just because his head's always seems like it's close, and you have to mimic some of the. It's like when we watch Sasso do Macho Man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was he'd get the belt, so the belt would give him the posture. And then the glasses. So now he's holding a belt and he's like doing those movements and pointing with his hands.
Yeah, you gotta actually do the character, not just the not just the voice.
Yeah. And then it simulates that rigidness. So because he's Superman, and to do that pirate sound, it's like it winds up. So I imagine he's like pulling in
May I distract
a lot
you?
of air. Yeah.
Look at what he's doing right now. Distraction.
Oh, okay.
You see it? She wants
in the couch.
This is no, but look at where her paw is.
Oh, when you're
This is why I had to put this bed here. She just wants to touch me while I'm playing games, while I'm streaming. She just wants to feel my presence, I guess. So cute that she gets all calm and she starts purring just from her paw being on my arm.
So cute.
That's so he's retiring, and is he retiring from working for the town? Like he saved up money and he's able to retire from that?
I didn't realize. Yeah, those jobs actually pay pretty good now. And because it's a town, I didn't realize he was as old as he was. I thought he was maybe in his 50s because I knew he was older than I was. But he said like his age of retirement, how many years.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's excited about it. He's one of those guys that's just inspiring because you go to the transfer station. I don't know. It seems like it would be kind of a chill job. You get to see everybody in town. You get to see all kinds of wild shit coming in. You get to know all the gossip. You get to, drive machines around sometimes. Seems like a fun thing to do. And he really just enjoyed the work, I guess. So he has a very regular, simple kind of everyday life. And he likes to go have some clam baskets at the restaurant down the road, and everything he tells you he's very excited about. He got a new car, and when you bring your car in, this is what's wonderful about this guy. He's a perfect guy to bring up, because they'd be like, yeah, you want to get in there and clean in those doors there so it doesn't rust up. And, he'll talk about like cleaning the car and maintaining, because he never probably owned a lot of new cars. And now that he and his wife have this car, he's immaculate. And he and his wife share the car, and she comes and like picks him up and stuff. But he keeps everything so immaculate, and he services stuff. He can be hired for sharpening like chainsaws and whatnot.
That's cool.
So he's a guy who I would say he's on the spectrum in the way that he can fix, he has that ability to mentally dissect things, probably in like an immaculate way, even though he comes off as just this kind of like local kind of simple dude. But he knows everything that's going on in the town. He remembers everything. It's like amazing, like how his brain works and holds information.
That is incredible.
And he makes references, like when I was like, saw you here the other day, he'll see people and he'll make connections. And if he doesn't have that, he just moves on to the one that does. But he's great at all these things, and he takes I don't know. I don't want to say pride. I guess it's just value. He seems to really appreciate the simple things he has. Being able to go out to eat.
Kind of a rare thing these days, actually, to appreciate what you have.
Yeah, and I think when he retires, he might just do that. Maybe he'll open up his little garage and have a little chainsaw sharpening shop, and I'd go there. It's
the saw shed,
and it's cool. Like in all this obsolescence, there are still a lot of people out there who value maintenance and taking care of stuff. And I feel like sometimes an old man, because when you're growing up in the world and you look up to the older people of what life is, it's going to be different and subjective for each person, because the eldest generation is going to be at a different spot. So like in our world, like we get old, we could have been a successful streamer, we had a successful podcast called Rise in Mind. And then it's like that becomes the standard. Like, oh, grandpa, when I grow up and get old, to have that life that's that desirable life, that's further along, I want to be like grandpa and be like Uncle Matt from the podcast days. And see what I'm saying? But when we were growing up, my grandfather was like maintaining his farmhouse and growing gardens and stuff. So I put that in my head, and as a middle-aged man, I'm doing that same thing. But that's not really like what I'm ultimately trying to gravitate towards, the simple old man out in the garden with, mowing his lawn. but that's what I saw, and that set the standard.
Man, you got a really great image in my mind of Uncle Matt, he's out there working on his computers again. He's out there building his computers. This dang video card just won't fit in this slot just right. I don't know what's wrong with it. Look, picture me as an old man.
And then, it will be inspiring until if we kept going to the day we die. Like when I see Pete and Baz up there spitting like crazy, drill rap verses, you're like, oh my God, these guys are like 70 years old and they can do it. And it's adorable in its own ways. So we'll be those guys someday. Like, see those two old guys that come into the shop every morning? Yeah, those guys used to have a podcast and blah, 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 Not to toot my own legacy horn, but like it could easily be that. And then it's funny, by the time they go, like, oh, when I get old, I'm going to settle down like my grandpa and just have a podcast with my buddy, like the good old time, like the good old days.
Good old days.
Like, and
none of this.
Their future reality is going to be something stupid, like VR, metaverse, AI, overlord, robot. I don't know, but they'll be like, I'm going
none of this,
to simple days when two men could just do a pod together.
I've been spending too much time in virtual reality with my friends. I really wish I could just have a simple life with a podcast.
I don't want to upload my consciousness to a new body. I want to be like my grandpa and just die like a man.
God, I've been listening to this audiobook. It's the second book in the Commonwealth saga, and they have this thing in this universe called rejuvenation, where if you get to be like 80 years old and you just go get rejuve, and then you could live and you live a whole nother life. There's some people in this book that are 400 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's and they look 20 because of this process.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was kind of throwing that joke up there, that altered carbon, how you could just kind of live forever basically by uploading your personalities into different body hosts or whatever. Yeah, it seems like that's kind of the future sci-fi, like the live forever thing. Our technology's got to a point where we're like, we're bored with this. Now let's get immortality.
I don't know if we're ever going to get to that point, though. At least not not the middle class, not the poorest classes.
It might. I mean, that's the thing that I don't think would really be that awesome if you had it.
Oh yeah, it's like maybe you'd want to die. I know in this sci-fi story, there's actually a lot of characters that have that viewpoint. Like they're usually called first lifers, and they'll just have one life, and they're like, I'm good with it. Good with the one life.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Like old traditionalists, right?
Yeah, and then there's some that
first lifers.
They'll get rejuve like twice, and they're like, that's enough.
Yeah,
but we just entered a part of the.
How long do I want to keep doing that? Right. Yeah.
Right. I just got to a part of the story where they're at war now, and you could die very suddenly, and if the data center that's holding your memories gets killed, you're dead for good.
Oh.
And
yep.
They have a re-life procedure. They can bring you back from the dead.
Server death.
Yeah.
That's like second death, and you know what that is, right?
Second death
in real life. Yeah, we're in the deep dive, so we can get heavy. A little dark for a second. There's two deaths within your life. First death is when you just, if you were to die right now, you would be a gone corporeal being, but you wouldn't be completely gone, because I'm doing a podcast with you right now, and like I would, if you just dropped dead on the podcast, I would remember that for the rest of my life, and then all the associated people, our mutual friends, people who watch the show. So even the musicians, like huge people, like an Elton John or something, they're huge, but there's a chance that everybody can have second death. Just some people are, earlier than others. So once your family is gone, once your friends are all gone, did you leave enough of a legacy to keep going, were you a prolific writer, singer, or something like that?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So the second death is when nobody remembers you even existed.
There's
So
probably 100 billion people that have had second.
oh yeah,
Because it's like
lots of people.
there's like I want to know about that one guy who was helping build the pyramids, and I want to know about his life, but none of that stuff got written down. You know, it's like that's what's so sad to me. I was like, I want to know what it was like for like the basic worker working on that thing, but none of that was talked about.
Yeah, I'm glad there's a lot more recognition. You know, historically, it always feels like some original creator is getting like kind of brushed to the side, especially if you're not a white guy. You know, there's been a lot of people brushed to the side of contribution and get forgotten about when they were big parts of everything. And take my love, you know, video games. They didn't get any recognition early on, and now we're starting to see. I don't know if you played these. I wanted to just mention this. We can talk more about it in the Breath of Fresh Air.
Yeah,
They have a lot of these video games now where it's part video game, but it's part history. So you would love this, dude.
Yeah.
It's so ADHD friendly. You go through a timeline and you get to hear videos of how they came up, see all the stuff they did to make it, look, thumb through all the archives, all the drawings, coding, all the promotional stuff, letters, physical letters from the late 70s, like back and forth typed out of how people used to sell each other video games, stuff that's like, whoa, this is so, it's talk about the simple old days, dude. It was very beautiful, and nobody could just program a game, write a letter, and what that was like. But you get to do that while playing all the different iterations of the games that they made to lead up to it.
Yeah.
And this is great because so many of the people who've been programmers weren't recognized, their names weren't put on things, so they're bringing their contributions in for history to remember.
Oh, that's
they could have just easily been forgot about.
That's a beautiful thing. Love
and
that.
They're archiving it in the actual video games that they made with like a timeline. It's Atari has them. I haven't played it, but the one I just got was I used to call it Karateka, but it's Karateka.
Karateka.
It's
Karateka.
Yeah, and it showed. And it's so good, and I've been wanting to like mention that to you for a while because it's just, maybe I'll stream it and show you because I've already gone through it, but it's such a cool experience to play detective through this guy's life and see how things were so simple back then, and to have it documented in the person remembered. A little other side note: Atari, their game Adventure was the first time that a programmer was recognized. The coder who made it, he made a secret room, and you went to it and it said this game was made by, and it has his name. It was the first Easter egg ever, like I think, you know, like a video game, and it was this guy who coded, you know, programmed the game, and it said a lot that time because people were like, oh yeah, people didn't think about these guys, and so they're able to get through, maybe even by contacting that guy and start to reach out to all these other coders throughout time. It's beautiful thing. Fun games, check them out.
I like it when movies have stuff like that too, where like behind the scenes, like they'll actually shout out like the smaller people working on it and like give them a real showing of like this, like this is Greg, like he's their sound guy, look at him go, and it's like they'll actually show more of like the stuff of like giving people a legacy that you didn't think would have a legacy.
Yeah. There's so many people behind every show that you watch that are just holding things up, taping things down, and yeah, they're as much a part of it than the actor.
Yeah.
The actor sells it. The actor's the person you see, but there's a guy holding the light on it, that person, and someone calling action, composing the shot. It's a group effort. But the
what was so cool about that video you showed me though, about that production, was the rotoscoping. Before rotoscoping was even a thing, like they took video of someone actually doing the moves, and then like they would animate based on that. And I think that's the first motion capture I've ever seen ever, like the oldest example of motion capture I think I've ever.
And if you're an old guy like me, you saw video games go from dots, to what they are now. And if it was a square and then it went into like a few and became a mustache plumber, it was like, wow, big jumps. And rotoscoping, the first game I ever saw on Atari 7800 was Karateka, and I didn't even know why, but I knew it was different and it was awesome. Didn't even really know how to play it, but it was so visually mesmerizing. It was like, oh my god, there's a real person there. And because it was dude's dad, it was like a real guy doing this. And later he'd go on to make Prince of Persia, same rotoscoping. Later he'd go on to, that rotoscoping would be used in Flashback and Out of This World. And Out of This World is one of those video games because of the way that it's coded, its visual design. It is so beautiful and cinematic. It's been recognized as a work of fine art by galleries, like MoMA and stuff like that. They're so just wonderfully immersive. And when I was a kid growing up, there was always a benchmark where I can remember, like, this is when video games kicked me in the head. And I was like, this is different. My ADHD brain was like, whoa, here we go. I don't know why. So much better. And rotoscoping was the thing that I responded to so much in video games. It's, wow.
Linking that.
So amazing.
Linking that in the chat for everyone to see. It's such an interesting thing. So this is digitaleclipse.com showcasing it. I did find the Xbox version of it. This has a lot of images and videos of what we are talking about. It's very easy. So
yeah,
cool.
It's such a blast.
As an artist, I can't get over this cover. The painted.
It's beautiful. That's
cool.
The reason I bought the game. It was
beautiful. Like, is that an homage? Is that like a digital painting that someone did to sort of do an homage to it, or was that the actual cover of the game?
I think the one that you're looking at is the actual cover of the game. It was done in the style of like the Frank Frazetta. Well, not Frank Frazetta was earlier, but like I think Drew Struzan might have been inspired by that style. But it's Drew Struzan who did your Star Wars, Indiana Jones posters, things like that. These hand painted large scale paintings and then put onto movie posters and VHS boxes.
Oh, really?
And they tried to achieve that cinematic. They really wanted to push cinematic story, look real, and to make it look like a movie box. So it sold me.
I didn't know it was the same guy who did Prince of Persia. I had no idea about that. And that game was groundbreaking too.
That's coming out next. So you should play Karateka, that because they said they show where it leads to Prince of Persia at the end of the timeline, and they're like, but that could be told in another episode. So I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna do Prince of Persia as well.
So this is a making of
that format.
The making of series where you actually get to play the game.
Yeah, and they have new versions of them which are really good, like the same game but filters over them to make them look like more atmospheric and things like that.
That's pretty.
And there's a really good game on that called like Moon Bounce or something, where he was trying to do an Asteroids clone, and the final like remaster that they do of it is a legit fun game. It's cool to see like those old games evolve as well. There's like a few different games on there, including Karateka.
This, believe it or not, this actually does fit in with our subject really, really well, because the amount of like time, energy, and love that he put into that game You just don't see it anymore. Like the quality of video games is now they look great, but the game itself, the reason that you even turn it on in the first place, is not fun anymore.
Well, here's the thing. It's like this weird loop thing. So what I got from those old Atari games, I then got in this experience, going back and playing an old Atari game, but recontextualizing it with history, and the amount of love that I felt that was poured into this thing. Like, old guys my age would be like, oh, it was like such a wonderful time, and all the things that they got together to represent this time. It like, see how it kind of loops around, and then I get sold that same kind of feeling, that labor of love for these old simple times again at this point in my life. But essentially Atari's just I have Karateka the game, but now I have this version of it because, hey, here we go again, Atari. You and Sega and everybody's popping out of the woodwork, out of the arcade panels, like, hey, old middle-aged guy, we're gonna sell you this shit again. I saw a Streets of Rage 2 action figure in Walmart. Never thought I'd see the day. If that shit was my character, Blaze Fielding, you bet your ass I'd be like playing with it right now. It was just fucking Axel, and I don't give a shit about him.
Yeah, Axel's just a poser.
He's like the third guy I'd select. I mean, screw that, man.
Like digital products are doing it too. Yeah, that's like a really good point about how you own it already, and they made you buy it again. But this version that you buy, you might not actually own. Legislation passed.
Well, I bought the digital copy, so I bought an agreement to license it for the time being. But you can. This is the other thing. You can go on, like, limited run games will put out. I think they're putting this out. It might be on the Atari website, actually. You can go and link to that for like $50, which I think. I mean, I got this. I think this game was like $30. I got it on sale, and I ended up paying $12 for it. So I got a pretty good deal, well worth it. And then, but you can get a physical one for like $50-$60, and it has the little art book, and it comes in the jacket. But then you own it. So there's that option. They know that people want that. So now there's another selling option from the same studio. So people are figuring out, just like the cars, how many different options or iterations. Atari's just recently done this. We've talked about this. Like, you can buy a digital version. You can buy the handheld. You can buy the arcade one-ups. Whatever you fucking need, Atari's gonna hook you up. They are out there soliciting, hustling. Like, hey, you want physical? You want digital? You want this? You want it all? You want a new model of it? You want the 2600? You want the 78? You can get all this stuff, dude. Get it before it goes fast. It's limited.
A friend of mine.
That's the other shitty thing.
Friend of mine just got a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah.
And the Steam Deck seems like the solution to every problem, like, not problem, but every avenue you just talked about. Everything. It's, you buy something on Steam, most things on Steam you can play on a Steam Deck. So you can buy an entire he bought the entire Castlevania collection. He has every Castlevania game in the palm of his hand. I'm just like, there's something really cool about that. Having every Castlevania game. And then he's got his entire Steam library. So not just that, it's library. Oh my god, my mom would slap me. Librarier. And like, that's a company, like, Steam is one of the few companies I see that is not shitting on its consumers. Like, actually trying to do good things, actually trying to make the products that they produce better, being the Steam client, Steam Deck, any of the products that they actually produce seem like they're good. And they're making so much money just selling games that they haven't even made their own games in a long time.
Yeah, they have they have integrity in what they do, and they support their customers. And I think people will shop at that more just because of that reason too. That's part of their branding, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the part of a brand that most important to me. Like, when I heard that the Arizona iced tea guy refused to raise his prices because he said, I'm not doing that to my customers. They're hardworking people. I was like, I'm buying so much Arizona iced tea now. This is awesome. This guy's the best.
Yeah,
What he said was, our bills are paid. We make a net profit. What more do I need? I was like, dude, more CEOs need to think that way. That's perfect.
Yeah, but you don't run the world in this big dick billionaire America doing that kind of shit.
Well, I actually do want to touch on that a little. This kind of goes into the built-in obsolescence. Like this, it's all around making more money. The only reason they make stuff shittier is to make more money. And I'm like, where's the end? Like maybe you have a theory for this, because there's no real answer to this question. But like, say they make $1 trillion, they become a trillionaire. Great. Now what? And then they go to Mars, right? And they develop Mars and they put industry there and they make a colony and you can go there and then there's travel and you can spend even more money. They become a multi-trillionaire. Now what? And I'm like, where is the end? Like, do you feel like you won yet? Like you're the richest man on the planet?
Well, eventually they die, but I think I think it's also for family. Like people want legacy, and think about we're like anybody. Every person who's born doesn't think like, I don't think a kid wakes up and goes, I'm gonna do fucking nothing with my life. You know, when I grow up, I'm just gonna sit around and play Monster Hunter and drink energy drinks. I'm not gonna do a goddamn thing, and I'll be all right, and then I'll die.
Was that?
What's poppin', Johnny Blaze?
Yo. Was
doing a weekly,
I'm just curious.
Weekly chat.
Did you use Monster Hunter as an example? Because I've been playing it so much and drinking energy drinks while I've been playing it.
So I try to brand my humor with some currency, some not money, relevancy.
Oh yeah.
And I know you just mentioned that game, and I ran into another art colleague at a Walmart, and he was working there, you know, like most artists, right? So I was like, what you been up to? And he's like, oh yeah, doing this. I've been playing Monster Hunter. And I was like, yeah. So there's just like a lot of nerds right now.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter and energy drinks tend to go along. I was just trying to appeal to an audience with my joke.
It's just funny. Your joke struck me as like I've been playing too much Monster Hunter and I've been drinking too many energy drinks and I'm trying to like curb that. So like currently something that was like, does he know that I've been doing too much of this? Is he trying to help me?
Because like anybody, I think we can all relate to the fact that we do stuff that's like probably not a productive use of our day. We all have our I don't know, you spend hours on TikTok, you spend hours like, you know, watching a show, you watch sports, like just things that aren't necessarily like they're fun. You have to entertain yourself, right?
Speaking of quality products,
but when you're a kid, you're talking about becoming president and doing big things and stuff like that. And generally that's not like an aspiration. So
true.
Sorry, I don't even know how we got on this with like the legacy.
You were talking about,
we all have a little bit of a legacy as well. From anyone, when you're a kid, you have a vision of, I'm gonna be a fireman. You know, I'm gonna beat the shit out of my neighbor. You know, I'll be big then. You know, like whatever that may be. Everybody, I want to be the baddest.
Is there a story? Is there a story to that?
You know, yeah.
Do you have a story for that? Did you want to beat up your neighbor?
Oh, dude, you didn't have shitty neighbors ever? I had horrible neighbors.
I couldn't see my neighbors. We're in the woods.
I kicked this kid in the balls once, but that's a whole other story. You know, country living, you know, stuff pops off.
Kick this kid in the balls.
That's right. That's just how shit went down here in the Ram Ranch.
Ram Ranch.
But you know, I was like I'll say like, oh, I wanted to make art or make a movie or make mini sets. I had different things that I saw people do. I watched a lot of like you were talking about behind the scenes stuff, which side thing, physical media used to have commentaries. Commentaries taught me a lot about movies and film how you create a film. Now that's not it was a selling point. They realized that like, we don't need to waste time with this. Everyone's got a podcast anyway. They can just talk about it there, but it went away. And so now it's just you stream the movie. But I used to have this other component, and that other component helped me learn about movies. So it's these things. Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? I tried to side note it. I tried to segue. I had to lean. I was wanting to say that one for. And now I've boxed myself into a area. I forgot what I was saying.
Oh,
old man, take a look at you.
Oh.
But if we all have legacy, and we all want to do something. Oh, it was about the building of the mini sets and stuff. Like, so I watched the behind the scenes and got like different movie ideas and stuff. So these were the things that were inspiring me, what I wanted to be when I grow up. And we don't intentionally want to play Monster Hunter all day.
8 hours.
We still have these drives, but those drives are exhausting, and they get exhausting the older you can get. But if you're really killing it, like if you're a billionaire, you're going to be able to plug that back into your little kids and stuff.
I did a stream of Monster Hunter, and it was 8 hours long.
What a waste of a life.
I did not. I just didn't keep track of time. I started streaming. People came and went. We were having fun in chat. Me and my friends were having fun, and it was a Saturday. I didn't have anything to do, and I was like, I turned off the stream, and I was like, 8 hours? What? I haven't had a game hook me like that in a long time. So, like, speaking
honestly,
of,
I'm jealous. Like that, it's been a long time too. When I first learned about Minecraft and partly showed me how to play it, it was an 8 hour experience, and I hadn't done that in ages. And it's amazing, like to have that kind of fixation and excitement over something like that. It doesn't always come with every game.
Oh.
I'm glad you're having a fun time with that.
It is a quality.
People love that shit.
It is a quality product. That's the difference.
Nice.
Like when it comes to the subject we're on. There's a lot of games out there now that are trying to sell you part of the product later after the game's out. Monster Hunter is consistent with a full game experience, and then if they want to make an expansion later, they just charge you for that. That's how it used to be, and I'm glad they're bringing back that pattern, because I would love to have a full game to play, and if they want to add content to it, make it an expansion to an already great experience instead of locking part of the experience behind a paywall.
Yeah.
So many games are doing that, where they're locking the experience behind like
first two volumes, first two vowels, first two vowels, the E and the A.
Vowels.
Yeah, only giving part of a game, or DLC, giving a free game, like that's another one I've known.
Oh yeah, there's some free games that they do. Free games kind of do it right sometimes. Like Marvel Rivals is a really, really good game, but want any of the fancy stuff, like it's all cosmetic, costs money, and they're making a killing because people do want the costumes and stuff. Yeah, that's how it's set up.
You get all the different, because it has such a legacy and has such fan base.
Another big one is Warframe. I spent about $80 on Warframe.
Damn.
I didn't realize I was doing it until deep in.
Fallout 4 got me on the DLC. I bought DLC because once I beat the main game and I was really into building, it had a lot of extra stuff. Like when you bought the extra packs, especially like the Far Harbor, when you could go up the main too. That was cool, and close to home here. But yeah, I bought some DLC for that. But usually I'm pretty good about it. I haven't, but I do have a FOMO problem when they offer, because I wishlist stuff, when they offer the full game with all the DLC versus just the full game.
Oh, yeah.
The full game will go on sale, but the other one won't. So I just stopped putting the full games like on there and just put the bigger one, with all the DLC. Like, dude, if given the option, you're gonna want that, but then I'm probably paying an extra $10
sometimes
for nothing, really. You know,
FOMO is a whole nother bag of tricks that they have to get us.
no FOMO, no more FOMO, no more.
FOMO. That's a whole subject on my vision board, my 2025 vision board that I'm doing pretty good on, I think, so far.
Nice. Yeah, I've taken some of the stuff into consideration. Abso's got hers like right in the hall over there, and it says no FOMO, fear of more options. If that rings up a thing in their head real quick.
For some people, it's fear of missing out, but
fear of missing it. Yeah. So like
that's the same same idea.
Yeah. So if it's like the DLC for Resident Evil, it applies to both of those. Like you just want to make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. But the problem is like with things like Netflix, there could be like, there's thousands of movies on there, and then there's, oh, I wanted to see that, and then that gets kind of put into the background because there's so many other options, and then all of a sudden you realize you default and you're watching like The Office again for the 6th time because it's like, nah, it's late, I don't want to watch this. You could watch it right then, and that's one thing I started doing. There was movies that I had wanted to see, and I think I'll just put the fucker on,
Dude, we should watch The Electric State together. That came out.
Yeah, what's that?
Netflix. It's about kind of what we're talking about, how rampant consumerism leads to certain things becoming obsolete and then other things taking over, which creates more waste because you throw out the thing you were just using.
I know a lot of our generation here, an age group, we started all this shit on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Now, like, you can go to you can go to a store for children. You can go to a department store and you can buy toys for kids that are like ring lights and fake Fisher Price streaming setups for children.
Why is that?
Because
that hurts.
Yeah, because we're the benchmark for this virtual success, but you know what they are? There are fucking replacements. It's just training them into something that they can replace out a generation for. We're gonna come up with something new, and then you're steal that from us. We're gonna die, and then you're gonna die.
I think I need a breath of fresh air after that.
You're all gonna die.
Ready for it?
You're all gonna die.
No.
It's time for the breath.
I can't breathe. I'm gonna die.
Breast of fresh air.
I'm gonna die.
Camera's huge on this one too.
You're all gonna die.
All of us? We're just going here. It's quicker.
In 100 years, unless they figure out this altered carbon shit, we're 100 years from now, we're all gone, buddy. So why worry?
All gone.
Wow. That's the breath of fresh air. In 100 years, will any of this matter? Nope.
Part of what I really want to talk about in the breath, things like the framework laptop that we talked about, how like there's a lot of options that fight this. We can basically say we can vote with our wallets. Let's not buy things that are disposable. Buy things that last. Keep buying, like, only support products that actually last a long time.
Remember next time remember that next time when you're at the Burger King window.
I'm never going back to Burger King.
Everything's fucking junk, dude. The disposable, it's crazy how throwaway a lot of stuff is. So it's like, how do you fight it?
So the way you fight it is there's actually Hank Green just video. He partnered with a bunch of ecological companies trying to reduce some of the waste. So it's cleaning products, for instance. What they're selling, one of the things that they are selling that he's promoting is this glass bottle with an actual metal pump, not a plastic piece of crap pump, and these tiny bricks that dissolve in water. And you get something like 300 bottles of soap out of this pack that they sell. And you just keep the bottle, and then you buy the bricks that dissolve in water. So like their whole thing is, why are we shipping bottles with the wet stuff in it when we could just ship the solids in biodegradable containers, and then people can just use water they already have at home to dissolve the soap in it that way, instead of these huge department stores with aisles and aisles and aisles of these products that are filled with liquid in plastic bottles. Why are we doing that? So these companies are trying to help that. So one thing they're doing is those new sheets. They have these sheets of detergent that come in a paper container, and you pull these sheets out, and they go in your laundry, and it's soap. It washes just like the other detergent. Like why am I buying this plastic giant jug when just soap? Like, why do I need this when I could just use? So those are some of the things you can. Right? There's some things that just are going to be disposable, like Baby Bell cheese. It's the it's the wax containers, the little ones come in. I'm like, this
but isn't wax, doesn't that melt?
It just goes in the garbage either way. It's taking up room in our landfills, which is still
But I
still
thought
something.
that shit broke down, right? Doesn't wax like
Wax breaks down a little better than most things, but it still lasts a long time. It's the point is that things that have that kind of wrapper on them, we should just, one way to combat this is to buy the large version of it and do the cutting ourselves. Like, don't buy a little thing that's in like a package and a bag of things that are all individually wrapped. Like, I hate that the most. Oh my god, there's so much plastic. Like, I'll buy the big block of cheese and shred it myself, like that kind of stuff. That's one thing I started doing a year ago.
It's sad though, because like that's up against HelloFresh packaging.
Oh yeah,
that's up against like pre-sliced cheese.
Right.
It's like you think of all this stuff like that's an ask now, you know, like cutting up like big quarters of chicken. People don't even want to like touch the shit. The more you can detach it from survival, you know, like you know, would be the best way to eat a chicken dinner.
What?
You know, grow it in the ground and then go kill the chicken and cut it all up and all that stuff. And a lot of people still do that, but that's a big ask for people.
Hard.
Slaughtering a living thing. If they can detach from it, if DoorDash brings it in a little box, you see the packaging's part of it.
Meat used to be only 20% of the meal. 20% of your plate used to be meat. That was when you had to like, when you knew the name of the animal you were killing, I think you just naturally ate a little bit less of it out of respect. I don't know what it would be, but it was something like weird how now that we don't see the killing of the animal, there's a detachment from it. And we do create more waste because of the way we're buying it. You're right about that.
So I come from a very like early days kind of living family on my dad's side, and he says crazy stuff. Like, he's like, you know, back when I was a kid, I'd walk down the hill and pick bottles, and I'd pick bottles and I'd go bring them up to the hardware store, and then I'd trade in the bottles so that I could buy a bullet. When he was like 12 years old, he'd go buy a bullet from a hardware store, and not a box of bullets, a single bullet. They would sell you just a 12-year-old kid a single bullet, and then he'd buy a bullet and he'd have his rifle, he'd stash it somewhere, and then he'd walk all the way back up to his family's house and he'd have one bullet, Eminem style. You only got one shot, you know, and he'd have to shoot a rabbit or whatever it is successfully, and then once he shot the animal, they'd have meat for the night. It was all counting on that one bullet. And yeah. I go, wow. I was like, you know, why? And I was like, why was meat so important and all that stuff? Like, he goes, meat was expensive. It was harder to get because everything else was you already had. And I was like, really? I would think like, you know, what about bread and stuff? He goes, bread, you would just use flour. You'd like just mix it. It was nothing. You would just use salt and like how you would make bread. It's really not that complicated. When you buy a $5 loaf of bread or whatever, it's crazy overpriced.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit there and make bread. And the same with vegetables. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
So think about that. The meat was so scarce and it was divided up amongst people. That's why it was so much less on the plate, but it was also the most, it was, we take that, we don't see it that way because meat's is as much as the bread, right? Eggs are more than the meat now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's also,
So,
you have an issue with nutrient density too now. Food is a lot less nutrient dense. The whole load of factors. I don't know if that factors into built-in obsolescence. Important to mention for like the waste part though. Waste that's creating, and then, man, crazy to me to think about that bullet though. I'm stuck on that. I'm stuck thinking about how he go buy a bullet, and then that would be how he would get the meat. It also reminds me of video Kirkazat put out about how to treat animals more ethically before we kill them, and apparently it would only cost like 30 cents more for a cow to have like be outside before it dies. And I'm like, that's not that much. I would willingly pay that if it meant all the cows could live outside before they die.
Yeah.
But and then there's also like, if you want your, do you want your chickens to have, it's the torture chamber versus the prison mentality. Like, do you want your animals to live in a prison, or do you want them to live in a torture chamber? And right now, with current prices, they live in a torture chamber. And we could upgrade them to a room with a bed, a view, metaphorically.
Either way, at the end of the day, dude, we're eating, we're gonna kill and eat that thing.
Well, and that's what's great about what this video did. Kirkazat's great about that. They said, we're not asking you to give up meat. They said, we're trying to quantify the way that we treat them before we kill them, so they have a better life. And I believe in this woo-woo theory that the meat tastes better if the animal had a good life. And here's the thing though, like there was a cow I knew, Ferdinand. I told this story on the podcast once. I knew this cow Ferdinand, and the place I worked bought him, and he was slaughtered, and we took the meat, and my boss was drunk when we bought him, and we didn't actually have room for the meat in the food and beverage department. And I got a bunch of ground beef and like some of the organs, and I was like, what do I do with this stuff? And I looked up some recipes, and that was the best beef I'd ever had. And we saw where Ferdinand lived. We were on the farm as part of that event, and he was in this big field, and he got to live to not the peak, to almost the very end of his adult age. They can't slaughter a senior cow, but they can let them live like all the way up until they're on the cusp of that. And that's how they do it. And he got to live a good life, and I swear the meat was better because of that. It was so good. I still think about that burger like every now and then. It's like, man, that was so good.
Yeah, you can't beat things when they're just natural in general. Like part of this whole thing we've been talking about with turning a profit, making more of a buck, and making things more accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like what I said with my dad. People aren't going to all out there and shoot their own animal, right?
Yeah, they're not going
to shoot their own. I hunted and fished with my dad, and I wasn't really different. I was an artistic kid who liked film and I don't even really like fish. And it wasn't, and then I watched my dad cut up everything you can imagine, like in the house. I grew up around it. He'd make me hold animals that he had shot. It was ridiculous. It was odd and ridiculous.
Wow.
But it wasn't my thing, and I humored him for a while, but I was one of those people who would rather be detached from the experience and not shoot an animal and go out and I'll go waste the earth and buy packaged stuff, and that's what I do to this day. It's kind of messed up, but like you said, it is better quality. That's one thing, like, that those old guys know, it's like that what we're churning out for a profit is not healthy. What we're getting a package that's nice and shiny and says everything we need to know. But it's what's in it is empty.
Not just food though, too. I definitely want to bring this up as part of the breath of fresh air of like, we are sacrificing a lot of quality across the board just to make more money and have our products be cheaper. I used to think that buying something inexpensive was the way to go, so I would save money, right? I inadvertently, the microphone I'm talking on right now, I ended up buying from you guys. You had gotten another one. And buying secondhand is a huge way to combat it, but another thing is this microphone brand new is like $80. I was struggling with a $40 one for the longest time. And then before I had the $40 one, I was using this thing. This actually grew my channel more than anything else. Like for some reason, this shitty microphone on my headset sounds better than even this Yeti sometimes. And I'm like, what is going on with this quality versus quantity versus product like placement and product, what we sacrifice to make a good product. And it's like, I would have bought so many microphones if I kept buying the cheaper ones. I would end up spending way more over time. So sometimes it's better to just buy the quality product at a high price.
They bought it at a high price. Yeah, Abso taught me that because she was a little bit more up on the social status ladder. Just like, don't buy cheap stuff because you'll just keep having to buy it all the time. And that was something that I learned. Buying even a mid-range quality is better than buying like the cheapest thing. Like, you don't have to buy the most expensive, but get something, like, look at it at least, make it fall apart. Your glove that you buy won't be ripped apart the first day.
Yeah, I spent.
So she did teach me that that's important.
Like, I love shopping at Ocean State Job Lot. It's one of where it's products that might be a little defective, and that's why they're a little cheaper. Yeah.
We just got one in the area. Speaking of which,
yeah,
and I got these yoga mats that will never break down.
Those are cool.
They'll end up in a landfill forever.
I have some of those. The reason I bring up Ocean State Job Lot is it's one of the outliers where the stuff is cheap, but for some reason, my pop-up tent that I've been using for outdoor markets, I got in 2007.
Oh, wow.
And it is fine. It's still good. I'm still using it. No, it's not bent. It pops up just fine. Doesn't even struggle. I'm like, I paid $150 for it. It's one of those things where I didn't do my research and I got lucky. And I feel like if you do your research and you figure out like why is it so expensive, what's the features that are making it so expensive, I learned the hard way that you don't buy stuff that says gaming. Gaming headset, gaming chair. That wrecked my back.
They're gaming you, and they're gaming you on that.
The gaming chair wrecked my back. So what I had someone talk about, you're gonna buy something that's gonna be $300 or more, and it has a certain function. Research the function. Don't research the product. Search for the function. And what I ended up with is this mesh chair that I'm using now. So who sits in a chair all day? What profession like sits in a chair all day? Long term office workers. Gamers, we sit in chairs for a long time, but if you want something that's going to last, that's going to be comfortable for a long gaming session, you need the stuff that someone who's sitting 8, 10, 12 hours in it. Not something that's flashy, has like a massage built in, has RGB for some reason on a chair. It's like, no, get a mesh back chair.
Sorry guys, if you have that stuff, I just can't stand even the look of those gaming chairs. They look like automotive racing seats with stripes, and they're black and red and all the time.
I
don't know. It just looks fraternity. Like I just never was like. I never liked them.
That's a good way to bring a breath of fresh air to this too. Is just if you're going to buy something, save your pennies and just buy the more expensive thing, because you're just going to throw it away. You're going to throw away something that was just thrown together by some company and sold because it's a fad.
Yeah, and in 2025, realize there's a lot of other options too. Like Matt was saying about the microphone. Like, your friends have stuff. Like, people have things, and don't, trade things. Sell your friends stuff cheap. Don't think like you have to keep everything. And as much as we said Facebook does nothing for us.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people use things like Facebook Marketplace, and they get stuff for free all the time.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more of the boots on the ground. I do a lot of lawn sailing and stuff. Dude, I'm a hustler bad with that stuff. I think of stuff in my head. We talk about manifestation, but I've manifested shit like gumball machines and stuff for free, like pool filters, like stuff that I've been wanting. That just, if you know things that you want in your life, just always keep it in your head. So if it's around, it's not like you manifest it in the world. You're just aware of that and you're more proactive. And all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, what's this? My neighbor's giving away. And yeah, it's a pool thing. Like the chances of that coming right across the street, stuff is everywhere. You don't run out today and buy it. You can get it for free in 2 months if you wait around. Just know what you want. No
real life.
It's all out there.
Real life example of this. Stacy has, she bought her home. Her first home she bought because almost everything in her life was thrifted. And then her second home that she's living in now, she is able to continue to live there and run a business because she thrifts almost everything. And just like you said, keeping it in your mind, knowing what you need, and then you will see it because it's in your mind already. You'll see it. Like she found an entire 2 tons of barn boards on the side of the road while she was driving.
Hell yeah,
and
brother.
that built most of her barn into the event space that it is now. And now she's on track to rent out that entire property as like an artist retreat space. And then she's gonna move to like a whole other town and like be able to. And this is all just from that mindset you just talked about. That's exactly what she's doing. And she never buys things for cheap unless she knows that it's going to be disposable. Like you have to already have that mindset of, I know this is disposable, why I'm buying it. But if you don't want to throw it away in a year, it's always worth it. I mean, not always worth it. Sorry, there's some products out there that are predatory. That's why doing the research is so important.
When you even mentioned the Job Lots place, like I could go through there with you and tear that place up. I was upset the other day, because I know I have like a photographic memory. Mm-hmm. So I walk around and I can memorize tags everywhere. So I can go to places and tell you what this costs here and that costs there, just out of memory. And I can find like a lot of problems with places, even like a Job Lots that they're a liquidation center, but it's like the pricing's unbalanced to where like I know I can get that cheaper right over there at Harbor Freight. I know I can get that cheaper. That's the one deal. So like some of the stuff, it's like you need to know where you're getting a deal on. I mean, shit, I worked at Sam's. Their number one selling item was a discount business store. Their number one item was marked up more than Walmart, which they own anyway. But like and people just bought it because they were there and they sold a lot of it, but they were actually getting taken because it was elevated. But if you look around, it's happening everywhere. And so I know we're here on RAM, but Dream Play Create is the Dreamers Arcade catchphrase. And don't feel just because you don't have as much as some people, or you have to have everything. Maybe you go on like Temu and buy some shit brand of it that's just gonna get broken. You have the power to either manifest and really be patient, work with other people, look at different avenues. Don't just feel like you have to get things today. Sit on stuff for a while, and I can show you all these examples. Like I wanted this painting here, I painted that shit. I wanted this Terminator arcade cabinet, I waited till it got 50% off and got $300 off this thing. That cool paneling in the background,
nice little deal.
That was actually ripped apart from a wall, and that's the original mid-century paneling, and I'm doing a mid-century room. and I can use the original mid-century paneling
good.
that was just covered by other pieces of paneling. And there's also wallpaper pieces. I can rip the place apart. find
Wallpaper,
other things.
pickled pepper, poppers. Wallpaper
Like
poppers.
when I was a kid,
what is that
I didn't
guy?
have things, so I made this shit.
That dude.
I wanted a slimy Krang. This doesn't exist. You can make. Maybe you don't have the creative abilities to do everything, but you can try. You can make a thing. You don't have a lot of money for some big diorama. You know, you can make your own shit out of stuff that's basically, guess what, going in a landfill.
Make all of it.
Like there's so many opportunities to salvage, to recycle,
Salvaging.
to rebuild.
Oh my god, yeah, salvaging is
Or
huge.
save yourself a deal. You know, get yourself deals.
The deals are nice.
Yes.
Sometimes novelty is another product predatory thing they'll use as well. Novelty will get me. I love novelty. If something's like a cool little gadget, I got a box.
You got real serious with that. You got real crazy eyes. I love novelty.
Well, it's because like I have a box of little gadgets, right? That I love them, but I never use them because the novelty was like maybe a one use case, and the use case will come up and I'll forget they even exist. Like they just, I won't use them because I'll just forget.
But you'll have that time where you will see them and you'll find that use, and it'll be like the greatest thing probably.
This little vacuum cleaner, this is one of the best things I've ever bought, actually. Because it sucks, it blows. It sucks.
Are we being sponsored by what's that blow thing now? I keep seeing like blowy machines on like podcasts. Like real things I'd never see. So it's a shop blower kind of thing.
It's to blow dust like out of your computer and you dust out of your keyboard with it. And the other end is a vacuum. The same motor that creates the air for blowing stuff is also using it to do a vacuum, so you can suck up like junk on your desk. Thing is, it's amazing. Don't know where I bought it.
Where?
TikTok shop. All places.
Shit, man.
Like some of the things that I bought from the TikTok shop have been some of the best things I've bought ever. Like the over-ear headphones that don't actually go into your ear. And I've had them for like a year now, and they're.
Well, that's cool. Shout out TikTok shop.
And I think that's part of why TikTok didn't actually get banned, because there were millions of Americans being like, "I sell my products on here." It would suck, like, and they called their senators and stuff. But
I think that's that's really funny that's like one of your favorite things. That's very telling of the both of us. When if I was to go through in this house right now and bring the object that I bought within the last couple of years, that's my top object, it would be my little Ryobi shop blower.
Oh yeah,
I can stick the battery in. Dude, I use it for so many things, so many jobs. Maybe it's an ADHD thing where it's really like it's satisfying how instantaneously you can clean with these kind of gadgets, and they're inexpensive and you use them a lot, so then they're worth the money and efficient. Leaf blowers, anything like that, crazy about their value, because it's like you do so much so fast. I love you.
There's this thing.
Oh, and there's this thing.
Oh my god, that's a cat.
That's how big this fucking
thing is a
now.
3D art assistive device that helps you like do 3D motion, so you can like do in 360 degree spherical camera movement much easier than with a mouse. And this was one that was, like you said, you get stuff from a friend. My friend Brian he thought he was going to use it, giving it to me for pretty cheap. And I have yet to use it. And I've had it for 4 years. But the crazy thing is it's been on the desk. Every time I've set up a new desk, every time I've done my computer setup, it's there. So it's almost like it's a reminder that I do want to get back into 3D animation. And maybe it will one day be just enough of a... Then its value will still be there.
Time will tell.
When it comes to like breath of fresh air, like we're not trying to tell people how to live, but I feel like people would also not want to live under the boot of built-in obsolescence.
I don't give a fuck what you guys do.
Built-in obsolescence just
Just be you.
I just want corporations to start giving us good stuff. You're gonna have $1 billion of profit every year. At least make good stuff. No excuse at this point.
Give me the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, do how you want to do. I'm just, on a budget. There's ways to get stuff that's I don't know.
Actually,
I'm just giving a little advice. Like people don't, people, if you have a bunch of shit and you think everything's worth money, don't think that you have to sell it all off at top dollar. At some point, I'm an artist. I make art. So I just worthy person or friend or even a stranger, and I just give them something. I can't have it all, and I can't sell it all. Maybe that's why I get the free gumball machine. Maybe I'm not manifesting. Maybe I'm just social enough and out there, and I do enough decent things. It puts me into a certain space, and a certain light hits that area, and it all comes together. Yeah, and you're not a hoarder just because you've got all kinds of stuff to make stuff.
Canvases.
I will throw that out there too.
Speaking of
hoarder pass. What?
Kickstarter. No, sorry. Speaking of Joblot, a lot of stuff I got from Joblot is mostly art supplies. Crazy how good their paints are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Liquitex paint that you can get from there, one of the best. And then the canvases are so cheap and very good.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had that. Maybe mine doesn't. We just have a new. Maybe it's a small one. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, have that. But yeah, I'm new to that. The whole job lot thing. I like a good discount store. And it also, hey, it creates another business too. Because they're like they're like traders almost. You get these different markets of the person who sells the big thing, and then it gets liquidated and kicks down. And that's a whole other market of selling and obsolescence. And I mean, people are making money off the obsolete still.
Set up the raid, and then while we raid out, I want to go through something really fun. See who's online. So Jesse Cox is online. Dynasty Warriors. Let's see. Dumb Television is online. We haven't rated them in a while.
Jesse Cox. I remember watching him when he was on those board game shows. What the fuck was that called?
We're gonna raid Dumb Television.
Dumb Television. Jesse Cox sold me some board games. He got me hyped on.
Really?
What was? There was a show. There was a show where people played board games, and it was they dress in like pajamas and shit. And Jesse Cox was part of that.
All right.
Like when Grumps was like when Drontron was out there. Thinking,
oh god, John
way back in the day. Way back when he and Hanson were doing.
Take
Grumps,
a look at the share at the stream screen for this. Your face for a second.
I was wondering what this smell was. I kept smelling. I've been handling this fucking screw here.
So here we go.
It's starting to smell like the metal. Okay.
Is this...
Do I have to hear it?
No. That's Dumb Television. Hold on, I gotta undo the capture. There it is. This is Delightfully Insane Kickstarter. So these are products that are trying to become thing. As part of the end of our program here, we got Detroit needs a statue of RoboCop. Fantastic. Do it right away. So this was
I would throw probably $20 at that. Honestly, is that a real thing?
Replacing the N-word with robot in the Huck Finn. Huck Finn with robots is the new Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Hold on, no, we're going through these real fast.
I'm not gonna support that.
Okay.
That's
laser cut 3D monster puzzles made from recycled 45s. Oh my god. Laser cut 3D monster puzzles.
Yeah, but records last a long time, dude. They could still be good audio files.
Oh, wait, rating out. Sorry, that was just a funny thing to do as we rate out. Oh my god. 8-bit tribute to Miles. This is on the Kickstarter website too. Like delightfully crazy Kickstarters.
Ooh, got you in the room now.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta piss again.